Okay, so here's an opinion piece. It states, the president is lying about coronavirus. Donald Trump's claims about the pandemic have been at odds with the information shared by his public health advisors. Take a look. Okay, so we will take a look. Let's see here.
Mr. President, very simple question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your response to this crisis?
The risk to the American people remains very low.
This is an unprecedented, potential severe health challenge.
It'll go away. It goes away. It's going away.
We will see more cases, and things will get worse than they are right now.
In April, supposedly, it dies with the hotter weather.
This virus is probably with us beyond this season or beyond this year.
This is a pandemic. I felt it was a pandemic long before it was called a pandemic.
Have you been briefed by the CDC?
I have.
Are there words about a pandemic at this point?
No, we're not at all, and we have it totally under control. When you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to zero.
We can expect to see more cases in the United States.
We will see more cases. Unfortunately, we are likely to see more deaths.
I like the numbers being where they are. I don't need to have the numbers double.
We'll certainly hit tens of thousands of cases in the U.S. Hopefully, we won't hit hundreds of thousands of cases.
We'd much rather be ahead of the curve than behind it, and that's what we are.
You are always behind where you think you are. If you think you're here, you're really here.
Anybody that wants a test can get a test.
Not everybody tomorrow is going to be able to get a test.
Anybody that needs a test, that's the important thing. And the tests are all perfect.
The idea of anybody getting it easily, the way people in other countries are doing it, we're not set up for that. That is a failing.
And failing, yes.
It is a failing. I mean, let's admit it.
Dr. Fauci said that the lag in testing was, in fact, a failing. Do you take responsibility for that?
Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all. They're going to have vaccines, I think, relatively soon. And they're going to have something that makes you better.
It would take then about a year to a year and a half to be fully confident that we would have a vaccine that would be able to protect the American people.
I mean, I like the sound of a couple of months better, I must be honest.
Is it safe or appropriate to be holding rallies during a public health crisis like this?
I think it's very safe, yeah.
You probably shouldn't get on planes. You shouldn't go into areas, large malls and large areas where people are congregating because it's too high a risk.
Getting away from shaking hands is a good thing. Maybe people shouldn't be shaking hands for the long term because it does transmit flu and other things.
I'm working on getting the boss to do this. Yes. I may not be successful, but we're working on it.
In terms of deaths, I don't know what the count is today. Is it 11? 11 people. And what is the number as of this morning? Is it 32? You could tell me. Is it 32 deaths, Steve? Unfortunately, one person passed away overnight. She was a wonderful woman, a medically high-risk patient in her late 50s.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your response to this crisis?
I'd rate it a 10. I think we've done a great job.
Wow. So Trump thinks he has done a great job. And he takes no responsibility for the fact that there were not enough tests for people. So, that's why we had this low number to begin with. No test available. So we had no idea what's going on. All of a sudden, the numbers are sky high. Harry Truman said the buck stops here. That means responsibility stops here at his desk. So here we are, we're dealing with the president who takes zero responsibility. And that's the way it's going to be. And all these press conferences every day and giving out names of different drugs. I heard him mentioning the name of a drug that that is used to treat what's that? Let's see. One of these exotic diseases. I think malaria. You know, those kinds of conversations should be for doctors to talk about. He's naming all these hydroxy this and that and so forth. You know, let the doctors do the talking. Then we all be much more knowledgeable, don't you think?